Hello and welcome to the first episode in the series, The CBC That Made Us. I'm your presenter, Shawn Greene. Now this program looks back at Retro CBC TV. We're focusing on CBC TV Channel 8 and programming that we had back in the 70s and 80s, 90s, right up till now, the days of MCTV. But it wasn't always Channel 8, it was Channel 3, and then it was Channel 9. So our focus in this program is going to be on cartoons and children's shows and local programming from entertainment to the news from the 1970s and 80s. Back in the 70s and 80s, most television sets in many households in Barbados look like this, or similar to this. These classic television sets were very different from the plasma flat screens we have today. Their bodies were much longer and much more cumbersome to house the technology on the inside. Very often, they came with two series of knobs, VHF, meaning very high frequency, or UHF, meaning ultra high frequency. Those fortunate enough to have a color television set back in the 80s would often see this when programming started in the evening, once tuning to Channel 3. This signaled the start of programming, so let's go. In the 80s, watching CBC TV as a child was fun. The television schedule would normally start in the morning with news items until around 11 a.m., then resume around 4 p.m., starting with one of my favorite shows, Sesame Street.
Just like that, Geronimo!
The larger-than-life characters and personalities, both human and puppetry, became integral tools of learning for many of us to this very day, supporting what was already being taught in the classroom. Hey, who was your favorite Sesame Street character? Probably the second best puppet-driven children's show in the 1980s in Barbados, behind Jim Henson's Sesame Street, was this one. As a boy, I loved Fraggle Rock. Gobo was my favorite character. But you know, we also had some educational programming for children as well. This was a fast-paced documentary-type show for children, teaching us all about science and how things work. And what about Square One? No, I'm not talking about the band. I'm talking about this show, making learning mathematics fun and entertaining. Remember this friendly guy who wanted to be everybody's neighbor?
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for a beauty. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I've always wanted to live in a neighborhood with you, so let's make the most of this beautiful day. Since we're together, we might as well say, would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Won't you please? Won't you please? Please won't you be my neighbor?
Usually, after those educational shows, entertaining cartoons were served up. And while there were many, these are just a few of the more popular ones.
And the masters of the universe by the power of Grayskull.
Galaxy Rangers, a team of space cowboys. the Native American gunslinger, Brave Star. Dogtanian, Albert and Sydney, or how about this guy? Danger Mouse, the dashing rodent, and his sidekick Pinfold.
Wherever there is danger, he'll be there. He's the ace. He's amazing. He's the strongest, he's the quickest, he's the best. Danger Mouse. Danger Mouse. Danger Mouse.
And probably one of the most popular shows of them all, and certainly my favorite show as a child growing up, was this one.
Thundercats!
Thundercats are on the move. Thundercats are loose. Feel the magic, hear the roar. Thundercats are loose. Thunder, 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 Thundercats. Thunder, 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 Thundercats. Thunder, thunder, Thundercats. Thunder, 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 thunder.
Do you agree? The absolute best. Other cartoons include She-Ra, He-Man's twin sister,
Dora, He-Man's twin sister.
Scooby-Doo, the cowardly detective dog, and who remembers those huggable, lovable Care Bears? Or these bears?
Mama,
Papa,
sister, brother.
we appreciate each other.
Or what about these bears, these cute bouncy guys? Now this popular mid-80s cartoon was actually inspired by a colorful chewy snack with the same name, which is still very popular today.
Magic and mystery are part of their history, along with the secret of gummy berry juice. Their legend is growing, they take pride in knowing they'll fight for what's right in whatever they do. Gummy bears, bouncing here.
Boy, bear shows were very popular back then.
My little pony, my little pony. Ah, my little pony.
Now, if there's one retro cartoon that has survived through the decades and is still very popular today, both on the screen and in merchandise, is this one. Yes, young people, this was around from the early 80s. Saturday morning cartoons were different and would often feature shows such as Popeye, G-Force,
Teenage Champions, G-Force, Guardians of Space.
Tom and Jerry, Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse, and many more, to name a few, including the superheroes. Now, how many of you remember waking up on mornings to this? I'm sure you watch every episode. Or what about this? or even this one.
Flintstones, meet the Flintstones. They're the modern Stone Age family. From the
As far as local programming in the 80s, and here are just a few of the local shows. CBC's Win Calendar was the popular host of Hat Trick, sort of like a Bajan version to The Price is Right, featured on MCTV Today, allowing contestants to guess the value of items and also to get involved in winning prizes in many creative ways. But perhaps the most popular of all of them during the 80s was Opportunity Knocks, originally hosted by Ben Callender in the embryonic stages.
Breaking up what we have built, leaving out all the good things that we felt. Where was I? Where was I before you came? And from the first time that I saw you, I knew that maybe I did something wrong. Oh, I tried, but the words won't fit the song. Found the door, but I couldn't find the key. And from the first time that I saw you, I knew you were made for me.
Joanne Boyce. You were really nervous, eh? You know, I cannot understand how come you're so cool backstage and you get so nervous out here. What's wrong, huh?
Nothing.
You're still I thought it was real funny when you sang, I couldn't find the key. Let's go to the judges and see how they scored you. John, yeah.
I didn't toot the horn, but she was nervous, and to come up there, I think deserves 2 points to begin with. I give her 3.5.
John, I can understand your nervousness because I get nervous too. So I give you 5 points.
Some days she has a good voice, you know, but I can tell that she's nervous. She will have to key a little bit. However, I give her 6 points.
I'm so in love and I still can't believe it, even as I see you now. Falling in love from the moment I saw you, never even thought I knew how. Suddenly I turned around, and what do you think I found? Deep in my soul.
But this show was so popular with Barbadians that it had many seasons and was later hosted by Vic Brewster, who also hosted many other shows, including Bust Your Brain. But Opportunity Knocks, that one was a hit.
Ladies and gentlemen, here to sing the boy and the bee is Dennis Carew. Pam palam palam pam 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 pam. One day I went out to sea. I saw a pretty bee. Avoided with me when I saw the bee, and it went into a tree. The boy said, let us go, but I then says no. The boy then says yes, and the beast ran into a net.
Now, if this performer looks familiar, yes, it's here on CBC TV that the mighty Karoo started to make a name for himself. But CBC's facilitation of local talent didn't stop there, as we not only highlighted the amateurs, but the professionals as well. And when it comes to natural, effortless singing in the 80s on TV in Barbados, it's hard to beat Cheryl Hackett.
All my friends were talking about you. They say I should check you out. So I finally decided to see you. See what they were talking about.
But of course, when it comes to putting the spotlight on expressions of our culture for the masses to see, CBC was and continues to be at the forefront, bringing the best performances from the island's various festivals to you. Here are arguably some of the biggest names from the 80s.
But you should hear them. Ooh, got me thinking that he got refuse to sing for me. To go Jamaica in Byron Lee. Ooh, got me thinking. Every time he keep a little show, he got to invite Dr. Sparrow.
And let me go spring garden on fire. You know me just run the fire for run from water. I heard that soca blazing down on the highway, so I had to go and help all them people down there. You don't want me to go, but stand there and fall. I am missing this thing, everybody's singing. All hands on deck. Hear the skipper elect. All hands on deck. You got to show the skipper respect. Look over when the bridge was down. He took over bridge down on a smooth voyage. He took over the bridge, took over the bridge. Skipper took over the bridge, took over the bridge. We know you can get it, man.
Me brother left home, he ran away. Last thing is in Joseph, so the people say. I find it funny that he can't be found unless he is hiding somewhere underground. I find it brother, I search night and day all around the country. I search everywhere. I search for all and find all and can't find the brother. Go all and I get all and can't find the brother. Pray all and pop all. Check a hall for one hall and can't find the brother. I search every kingdom hall, I search every dance hall. Look back hall, ash hall, wax hall, white hall. I checked out every single hall. Can't find the brother at all.
Red Plastic Bag and others had the tents in stitches back in those days, especially with their social commentary, informing Barbadians about the issues of the day in the form of art. But of course, we had something more formal for current affairs back in the 80s.
A very good evening to you. This is World Scene for Thursday, January 5th, and topping the news, Barbados to have a comprehensive tourist reservation system by next month. Many bus operators threaten strike action. A further small devaluation of the Jamaica dollar, and foreign ministers of Lebanon, Saudi Arabia, and also...
Yes, that's how the evening news was presented back in the 80s. Main anchor, Milton Gibbs.
Reconciliation talks for Lebanon. Minibus operators here in Barbados are threatened to go on strike if proposed meetings with the Commissioner of Police and the Ministry of Transportation and Works fail to result in better treatment for them. The association held an emergency meeting last night to examine the general relationship between the police and the minibus men and alleged pressure from the ministry. Emmanuel Joseph has been following those developments.
The emergency meeting was prompted after a series of problems between the minibus operators and the police came to a dramatic head last Monday. That incident resulted in the arrest of 5 minibus men and a 16-year-old schoolboy. It was sparked off by a scuffle between a traffic cop and a minibus driver.
You are indoors.
But let's check in with the weather and tell me if you can recognize this personality, still very popular on our TVs today.
In Barbados and the Lesser Antilles. The intertropical convergence zone has become much more active than it was yesterday, and it can be seen as an almost continuous zone of cloud stretching from the Lesser Antilles right across to the West African coast. Just for a repeat of the forecast tonight and tomorrow, mostly cloudy with occasional light to moderate showers. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with showers becoming mainly fair later. And for the Lesser Antilles, cloudy with intermittent showers and isolated thunder showers in the windwards. Partly cloudy with some showers in the leewards. And that's the weather package for tonight.
Thank you very much, Selma.
Well, thank you so much for being a part of this first episode. Of course, we are not finished. There are lots of fabulous shows from the 80s that we could not get into this show. So when we come in our second program, we're going to look at the sitcoms and comedies and all sorts of programming from the 1980s. I'm Shawn Greene. Thank you for viewing.